everybody, Larry here, Mitchell's RCs. Back at you with part 4 of the RJ Speed dragster build, 24 inch. I've gone ahead already, guys, and I cut the body shell out and drilled my holes, and I mounted it. I used the longest screw in the front than they gave, because the screw they gave in the front is about an 1/8 inch long. So that means you'd have to cut the body, even though where they showed you to cut the body, you'd have to cut the body way up higher, guys. To mount it to that little block, I'd have to drop this another 1/2 inch down, which means I'd take a 1/2 inch more out of this body and up, and I don't want to do that. And I didn't want to hard mount it to the front anyways. I didn't like that idea of that little plastic post being with this little screw being screwed, you know, the body into it. So what I did, guys, is, you know, when you get your motors, you get those little protective foams on the end of your motors. I took one of the protective foams, put it over that rod on the inside, and then added a longer screw which holds the body up even with the chassis line. Holds the body even with the chassis, guys. And then to get the holes for the cutouts, all I did is held a marker on the wheel at an angle where I wanted it, and then I just rotated the wheel with the marker, and that gave me the radius I wanted to cut. So that's how, so that's how I got the radius that I got right there, guys. I just held the marker here and went around like that. Like I said, I just held it at a slight angle for where I wanted it. I have perfect steering both ways. Nothing hits. Everything works excellent. So the next step to that body will be painting it. So yeah, let's rip into this thing, guys. The only kind of blah part is you've got to use a screwdriver to take the front apart. But I suppose once you get it ready for drag race and put a battery in it, you can get probably quite a few runs out of this thing before you've got to change the battery. See, guys, just a little block here. Comes at the end of them. Comes on the end of your motors. Well, there's that little plastic shaft right inside there. I just got it stuck in here. So all I got to do when I screw this screw down is it screws that block onto that little screw on the front right there. And that holds it, and that protects the body from getting messed up also on the inside. A lot of different painting to do here, guys. A lot of different painting to do. So here, let's set this over here on the other bench behind me here, and then we'll get started on this. I ended up getting another bench, guys, just like what I got here. I got another one right over here for doing all my soldering and everything. Right here. Got my drones up there and stuff. My 6x6 build that I'm making is over there. And then my charger and my soldering stations are behind all that stuff over there and stuff. So that way I can leave everything set up, guys, and I don't have to keep adjusting and moving stuff around. I also, hopefully everything is looking better, I also got, as you see, it's getting blurry. I got some self-adjusting cameras to get rid of that glare, so now I can have the lights on back here and you guys can see my hands and stuff. So if I move too quick, it might be a little blurry for a second, guys, but it'll adjust out. Excuse me. So guys, what we're going to use for a motor is I get this 550 can. It came out of one of the cheaper $100 RCs that I bought and took apart and made some things out of. So it's a 550 2 to 3S can brushed. So that's what we're going to use inside here. We're going to use that with 320 amp brushed ESC. And we're just going to run it on for right now, on a nickel hydride battery, just because I don't feel like doing any soldering right now, and this has the right adapter for it. And I have 6 of these batteries, guys. They have the banana plugs on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to end up taking this plug off the ESC, putting I've got a banana end right here. I'm going to put a banana end on this instead. And then I've got 6 of these batteries with these banana clips I can just run. And I mean, it's just a little drag car to have fun with. It's nothing I'm trying to be competitive with. It'll be a blast on these little NiCad batteries. It won't hurt them any. It'll be fun. But for now, we'll just run that other battery that I took out of the HPI Crawler King. So let's find out what I did with the parts here from the last time. Oh, I also threw a shim in here, guys. I got a shim off one of my drones, and I put it in there, so now there's no walk in the axle. Now the axle's nice and tight. There we go. Here's the pinion gear. Like I said, hopefully these cameras sound okay, and they look better than the other ones did. The other ones, I mean, the other ones are good cameras. They just don't self-adjust. So, what we first got to do is snap this wheel off. No, Oliver. Somehow. Oh, it might be too big. Oh, right there. If I put it in the right way. It's a little T-handle, guys. There we go. This is what I was looking for the other day when I was doing this. Makes it easier, so you're not holding those little Allen wrenches with your hands. Because them really hurt the fingertips. And this little tool is pretty cool. You just stick your Allen wrench in it, slide the little red handle over to hold the wrench in the slot. It gives you a little T-handle. Works with all sizes of Allen wrenches. So much easier. So much easier than fighting that with your little fingertips. That hurts your fingers when you do it like that. Okay, get the tire out of the way. Let's get this motor slipped in here. Try to get it set to where the wires are going that way. I want them to run down the outside here. That's one thing they don't give you on this platform, is really any room for wiring. They gave you no tie down points for the wires. That's kind of bugs me a little bit. But I mean, I can make some. It's just the point of it. I'll probably end up having to drill a few holes in this chassis to give me a few spots to run some tie down straps. Tried to see if it says, but it doesn't say what tooth this is. Looks like a 23 tooth to me. Flat spot on this. I got the screw screwed a little too much. Hopefully not in the way. I'm just loosening this Allen screw. Gonna slide this pinion gear on. There we go. This should all dry. Knock the washer off the table. No biggie. Add more in. It's always good to buy one of these little kits, guys. Just so you have the extra screws kicking around. And washers. So, are these 2mm? No. Those funny Allen wrenches also. There we go. Give these a drop of, let's put this over here. I don't want to spill it everywhere. Give these a drop of this Loctite. Screw started. Remember, don't lock it down tight, that way you can get your other one started. Always leave it well loose, so you can rock the engine, pull it back a little bit if you need the motor, you know what I mean? Just in case. Drop the screw. Little short Allen wrenches, boy, that's annoying. Sorry. That's way too tight. That's where I want it, right there. Yeah, it moved. Oh, maybe I can get it back. I gotta move it to the edge of the table closer so my hand's not hitting the table when I'm screwing this little Allen wrench. Tight. A little tighter than I like. Take your time setting your motor gear, guys. This is very important because you don't want to ruin your pinion or your spur gear just because you rush this and you got it too tight or too loose. If you have to, stick a piece of paper in there, push it till it touches the paper, tighten it up so you can pull the paper out without tearing the paper. And yeah, don't go crazy with these. Lock them down tight and then just give them a little tiny turn. That's all you need to do. Perfect. Alright, so now we'll throw the tire back on. It's in the wheel, but it's not in the right spot. I dropped it in there and it fell in there. Alright. There we go. See, guys, has a little slit. Where's the camera? Oh, wrong camera. So guys, a little slit in here with some little tiny holes. Just drop, you find the right size hole that you need. Drop it in, and you just pull the handle over it. It gives you a little T handle. Came on some little cheap set I got at Walmart. Like I say, it's a lifesaver. It helps. Okay, there's that. Gears in. Now, I'm going to run this battery. Doesn't leave any room. They put the battery straps back here. You can run your ESCs up here, but then that's on the outside of the body. I don't know if I really like the looks of that. I mean, granted, these are going to be run in underneath like that. I don't know if I like that. I'm hoping it'll fit here with the body. So what I want to do, just stick it in here real quick. Somehow, so it stays. Yes, it will work that way. Nice. I'm going to have to end up extending wires here, but that's no big deal. I don't want this on the outside. I'd rather have it here, and this will offload the weight of the servo. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it right here. So, you're going to grab your alcohol and your rag. Make sure you clean all your parts and surfaces before you do any sticking of anything. Okay, guys? Never know, there could be oil on this, grease, sticky residue from the factory. Clean the part and the surface you're going to be hooking to. Okay. Now they supply you with a little strip of sticky sided tape. No sense in having a mile of it sticking out. Get it cut down to the closest as you can. You can't start these with your fingers. Sometimes it's just easy. Grab a little utility knife, or not a utility knife, a little X-Acto knife or something. that straight. I don't like that crooked. Yeah. So now there's a line here on the chassis. I'm going to slide this right up to it and stick it right there. Beautiful. Like I said, I'll extend these wires. These are going to come across the back in here. And then they'll get extended down this side to plug into there. So there, that'll be for that. That'll be for that. Now we're going to use this servo right here. So let's clean this bad boy out. These servos here, guys, don't be afraid of your cheaper servos. I buy these off Amazon. I get 4 of them for around $22 or so. These ones aren't waterproof, but I'm not going to be running this drag car in water, so there's no problem there. They got plenty of power for what they are, and they're plenty fast. They work awesome for these little kinds of builds. I use them on all my RJ Speed cars and on some of my Tamiya cars, because I do not, my Tamiya cars, because I do not run them in water. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just cut a little pad, stick on the bottom here. I don't know why one side is white and one side is blue, guys, on this. I really don't. I don't think there's any difference. I really don't. Could be wrong, I don't know, and if you guys do know, you can go ahead and tell me in the comments why one side is blue and one side is white. There we go. That's how these stick down, guys. Just sticky tape. Nice and solid. Ain't going nowhere. Okay. Get this battery out of the way. Alright, now. Thinking about putting the ESC right there. I mean, receiver right on the opposite side. I don't believe it's going to hurt anything right there. Out of the way. Hopefully you guys like these kind of builds, or just builds, because if you do, I got more than I'm going to be doing, guys. So hopefully you like them, and they're going to be different. The next build will be a 8 scale buggy. It's going to be a Techno, and along with that, there's going to be the finish to my 6x6, and inside that box on the other table there under that 6x6 are all the leftover parts that I've ordered and that I've accumulated over the time, and that's going to be a twin motor build, guys. It's going to be a twin motor crawler, so that's going to be kind of fun. So I want to go this way with it. No, I want to go this way. Same area. Okay. goes in number 1, which is over here. ESC goes in number 2. Should have turned this on so we can get the servo straight. And we gotta bind this remote. So I'll grab my fly sky real quick. Turn on the car. Hold the bind button. Turn on the remote. Set this bound. Okay. Shut the car off. Shut off the remote. Pull the bind plug out this time. Turn the remote back on. Now the car. And there we go, guys. Now we have steering. You gotta remember, always pull your bind plug back out before you go do anything. Now we have the steering wheel. So that's where we're gonna go to for that. So we'll get the rest of our steering pieces out here and we'll get that hooked up. Like that. I'm going to run it on the inside. There we go. Still don't like that. Needs more of a bend to it. I guess it'll be alright. You don't need to run your Dremels on super high speed either, guys. They do pretty good on a lower speed. It saves on your bits, saves on your arms. I'm on the longer one. Alright guys, I don't know what happened. Everything just froze on me. Hopefully I didn't lose too much video here footage. Let's try it with the body back on now, guys. I got all this stuff in here. Now that I've got the steering hooked up. Perfect, guys. Not hitting anything. Beautiful. That is awesome. Nice. Like I said, it's the only downfall having to have that screw in the front, but I do like it because you don't have a post there, and they're trying to make it look more realistic. Is what they're trying to do, I believe, guys. That's why your pens are hidden in the back, and you know that's the way it is in the front. I think it's awesome. Basically, what we got left to do. Oh. I probably ought to put a screw in that servo, huh? I mean, servo. Gosh. Probably ought to put a screw in this, yeah, servo. Sorry, guys. It's late at night. It's late at night. I do all these videos late at night. I don't sleep at night, so I do these videos to kind of amuse myself, kill the time. So I mess up sometimes talking because I get a little tired. Good enough. I don't want to break it. nice. This is going to be so awesome. I can't wait to try this thing out, guys. This is going to be a blast. So, we got the motor wires that we got to extend. So just slightly too short that way, guys. I could do it just enough maybe to fire the motor. Let's see if I can get these plugged in enough to see if we can fire the motor. There we go. There. Yeah. Alright, she's working now. Whew. That had me for a second there. Oh, I can't wait to try this. I gotta stop before I break something on my bench. That is awesome. Alright, cool. Hey guys, I was looking through the wheelie bar bag, getting ready to put this together now. Might as well finish that. Oh, I'll turn this back around. Sorry about that. I don't know why I turned it. Pliers here. Got more of those little E-clips. So what we're going to do first is put an E-clip right on this rod first thing. Ah, come on. Here we go. Remember, always give them a little spin. There we go. Two are fat and two are skinny. Thicker spaces go on the top, skinnier ones go on the side. So you put one skinny one here. And then you'll add your wheel. And I've already messed up, guys. Because what did I forget to put on first? The keeper. The keeper, then the nylon bushing, then the wheel, okay? Then the small one again, and the bushing, and then the E-clip. Trying not to lose them. It's okay if I do though. I bought a whole bag of them. The last build I did. Because I lost one. There we go. That's how that goes, guys. Now all that's going to do is undersit here. Like this. Looks like that's a 1.5. Take your little screw, take your bushing, and what this is doing is you're screwing down through your wheelie bar right into those keepers, guys. Instead of an Allen screw, you're using a screw to tighten into them. Okay, in this we're going to use Loctite. I lost the, on my other drag car, I lost the wheelie ball on the back, the wheel. I had it Loctited too, and it came off. So, yeah, definitely Loctite it. I'm not saying it won't still come off, but it's better than nothing. started it with it sticking out slightly so I can get a hold of it a little better. There. I'm just going to snug it just slightly to hold it into play. A little more Loctite. And what did I do? I forgot the bushing. These don't feel like they go in very far. They're not. They're not a very long screw they gave for them. Not a very long screw at all. Oh, if we're getting 2.5, 3 screws, we're lucky. Threads. There it is, guys. That's the wheelie bar on the back. That's all there is to them. Nothing to them. Like I said, they're about $20 for those things, but they're carbon fiber, plastic, just like the chassis, made out of the same material. And to me, it makes the car to me. Now, like I said, I'm gonna have to make some anchor points to hook these wires down to. But I do want stick that switch down. Just a little alcohol. I'm just going to stick the switch right here. Actually, I don't want it sticking out the body. I'm going to have to open the body shell up anyways. So I'm going to stick it to the backbone, guys. Right up out of the way. What I'm doing now is just fighting with that little piece of paper to get it off that tape. There we go. All I did, I just stuck the switch right here, right on the backbone. I'm gonna have to open the cover to get into it anyway, so perfect. That's that. There, so guys, all that's left now is paint the body shell. And like I said, obviously I gotta drill a couple little holes here so I can tighten these wires down so they're not in the way. Otherwise than that, that's it. She is done. Unplug this motor, guys, because I don't want to leave that plugged in. Stretching these wires out. There we go. So the wires are screwed in there. We'll have no problem. So guys, what we got left now to do is put the wing on. And I kept telling you, let me move this car over to the other bench for a minute. I know I kept saying the other day we'd have to cut it. Well, after I read the instructions a little further, I noticed they give us a chart in here, guys. If it'll focus. Right here. It's a wire diagram for how we need it. So, we're just going to hold that there and we're going to bend this around. So what I'm going to do, hold it right where they want the bend, grab another pair of pliers, if these ones are strong enough, give it a bend right there. Okay, I want a little more with it. Not too bad. I'm going to grab it on the other spot, right here. Might be able to get away with just one pair of pliers bending it. Perfect, just like that. It's a little bit wider, but not bad. I don't think that's going to hurt it any, personally. And then we got to cut it down, I guess is what they want. How far is it? So, we'll just cut this baby down. Let the Dremel do the cutting, guys. Don't force it. Once you get so far, you can just snap it off. But always let your tool do the work, guys. Don't ever force the tool. That's how you break your equipment. So, let's move the car back over here for a minute. Now, calling for a slight bend backwards. So what I'm going to do is put them in the holes, push them down as far as they go. Let's see if I can just give it a bend with my fingers. Just guard it where I want it. There we go. Now I kind of see where the bends are. So now I'm just going to give them like a slight bend to the back. Slight bend to the back. Okay, this side here needs a little bit more of a bend. Once we get it in, we can tweak it afterwards. Just holding that down while I tighten the lock screw on the back to hit it. Remember, we're going into plastic, guys, so we don't have to be crazy. Just get it till it hits the metal bar, give it just a little turn. You're not holding nothing super in there. And then once you get it in there, you can do your tweaking and your bending and get it to where you want it. Okay, there's that. Now I got to cut the wing out, but that's no big deal. And then once you cut the wing out, you're going to place it on here and center it, find where the bar is. You're going to center it like this. You're going to put a hole on each side. And that's where you're going to run the tie strap to hold the to hold on your wing. And that's your wing, guys, right there. And that will be it. So, guys, the next time you see this, it will be all painted up, and obviously I'll have the wing installed, and it'll be ready to go. And hopefully we'll have a good enough day. I can take it out, and the road will be dry enough, and we can give it just a little kind of fun test hit out here. So, guys, this is Larry at Mitchell's RCs, and I hope you had a good time, and we'll see you on the next one.